Welcome back, everybody. On your Do Now, I wanted you to explain what compulsory voting was in your own words. Remember, compulsory voting is when you force somebody to vote, that it is required by law, that if they don't vote, there's some form of punishment. This can be extreme punishment like jail time, or it can be a light punishment like a small fine, loss of public services, something like that. But it's any sort of system that requires you to vote. Over here, we have a political cartoon Um, talking about compulsory voting. We've got, remember, this Lady Justice. She has a sword, a blindfold, and a scales. Over here, we have someone who symbolizes an average American in a very negative way. So, you know, this is going to be negative about this guy. He's saying, "You can't force me to vote." And he has her scales, and you can see most of his time is taken up by complaining about voting when voting itself isn't all that hard. Right? People spend so much time talking about how much they don't want to vote, how much they hate the government, and how the system works. If they just voted, it would be way easier. Right? Voting isn't that complicated, it's not that difficult, and you might actually get the results you want. So, this person is probably in favor of compulsory voting. A reminder why we're talking about compulsory voting is that the average American isn't voting anymore. Right? Maybe in presidential elections, but not in the midterm and not the locals. We have very low voter turnout, less than 60%. When a president is elected, that means, about 30% of the people who can vote in this country voted for them. And that's just not enough. We're going to look at a few cartoons before we do our activity today. We're trying to figure out what's the author's message. We're going to be writing these on the Pear Deck, so if you want to pause this video and type your response. In this cartoon, we have someone arguing to make voting mandatory, require people to do it. And this guy's saying, yeah, make none of the above a candidate and actually let them in office. So he's basically saying, yeah, I'll vote once you kick all the leaders out of office, right? That I can choose none of the above. I don't want any of these candidates. You can't make me choose between two bad candidates. So this author is saying until we get better leadership, better candidates, mandatory voting isn't going to change anything. All right, let's try this cartoon. Again, pause this video so you can type your response. The person in this video you can't see, his name's Uncle Sam. He's the tall guy with the top hat and the red and white suit all the time. He represents America. So if you see Uncle Sam doing something, it's either America or the U.S. government doing something. And he's getting pied in the face. To get pie in your face is to be embarrassed, to be publicly embarrassed. And Uncle Sam is being embarrassed by his voter turnout. So essentially, this author is saying America should be embarrassed that we're not voting, that such a small percentage of people actually vote. All right, let's try another one. We got in this video, or in this cartoon, two people being driven into the ground by different types of screws. And it says, hey, this is a democracy. Vote for one. You have to vote for one of these, or one will be chosen for you. What is the author trying to say? So we got some pretty negative imagery here, right? People being stabbed in the back by giant screws. And they're saying, hey, you got to choose one. If you don't choose, one will be chosen for you, right? It's all these things that people say when they really want you to vote. But do you really care in the end, right? You're getting screwed over either way. Does it matter if it's a Phillips head or a Standard? Right? This author is saying, vote if you want. Doesn't matter because you're getting screwed either way. Again, an argument against compulsory voting. So we're trying to figure out, should Americans be required to vote? We're going to be looking at documents, so people's opinions, primary sources. Every single one of these is going to have a different opinion. So you're going to have different perspectives, different reasons for why they think. You're looking for evidence to either prove or disprove, right? To make compulsory voting look good or bad. So as you read these, highlight important ideas that you see. If you want to take any notes, does this show pro con? You're welcome to use two different color highlighters. I'll pass them out. You're looking for evidence, facts that could help you in writing. The assignment today is going to be on Schoology, called Compulsory Voting, Part 2. And on the left, we got all these different sources. There's a lot of them, but they're all really short. And for each one, you got a couple of questions to answer. And when you're done, you can go ahead and submit on Schoology. If you need help, let me know. Otherwise, you're welcome to get going.